Hello, everybody. Uh, Today we're gonna be starting Tennis, so it's a little bit of a hybrid of whether or not I've read it because I've gone through all the routes, but I've only done Shoichi once, and I need to do those other ones. So I'm just gonna probably only do one read through for this because it's really long and I don't think I can handle doing all four. Uh, But yeah, I'm just gonna read the good path for Shoichi because I've only read the bad one and it traumatized me and it took me forever to get through. I dread going back to it, so I'm forcing myself by recording it. uh, so yeah, that's how I'm gonna cope with it. We'll see how this goes. Where's my thing? Oh, it'd help if I was using the right stylus. Haha. Default name. A cool breeze passes by, softly ruffling my fur. I bask in the mild weather of April, enjoying the feel of the sun against my skin. A long time later, I can faintly hear the sound of the wind against the trees below and the chirping of birds above. I'm content to just laze around and watch the clouds in the sky. It has always been a good way to kill time when I had nothing better to do. Lately, though, it has developed into a habit. As I lay on the ground counting clouds, I feel myself drifting away into sleep. Just keeping my eyelids open seems like an impossible fight at this point. Tempted to just reach into my bag and grab my gaming console, but the thought of playing while fighting my urge to sleep is too troublesome. I'm snapped out of my sleep-induced daze by the sound of the school bell. Is it already this late? Slowly, I hear voices. At first, there are only a few, but they keep increasing little by little. Students are probably leaving the auditorium now and are heading towards their classrooms. Others are likely carrying around pamphlets and trying to recruit new students for their clubs. I don't even have to look to know what's happening. It's the same scene every year, after all. Just the thought of being pushed around by all those people who keep trying to go to a million different places gives me a headache. I suppose I should head to class myself. Then I remember that teacher is going to be in charge of our homeroom this year. I think I'll just stay here and catch some sleep. It seems like the more comfortable approach. As I begin to feel this sweet calling of dreamland, a sudden noise snaps my mind back to reality. Did some student decide to wander onto the roof? Students aren't allowed up on the roof, so no one is supposed to come here. As for me, I just come here for the peace and quiet. It's a great napping spot after all. The sound of approaching steps echoes. I move my ears a bit to be able to hear it better. Is it coming towards me? Crap, have I been caught? I had a feeling you'd be here. My ears twitch to the sound of a familiar voice. My body relaxes almost instantly. Thank God, it's not trouble. I slowly open my eyes, holding a hand up to block the sunlight from assaulting my vision. Standing above me is a tall guy my own age with a kind, wry smile across his face. His bright green gaze looks directly at my eyes, nearly as bright as the morning sky above it. He looked like he didn't know whether he wanted to commend or chastise me. So, in the end, he merely stood at that same spot, looking down at me with indecision. Finally, he sighed, scratching his chin and continuing to watch me with that smile. You Do know morning assembly's already over, right? He sits down next to me with a huff, turning around to look at my face with a smile. I don't know how you manage to keep evading the teachers every single year, but they were royally pissed this time. I think your luck just might have run out. I'm somewhat taken aback by this nonchalant attitude. Shouldn't you be a little more pissed? I really thought he had come over to drag me to the faculty office. He puts both his arms behind his head and lies down on the ground next to me. I can feel the heat radiating from his body. Our arms slightly graze one another. I'm still feeling a little drowsy. Guess I might sleep for a few more minutes. By the way, my sister was looking for you this morning. Did she talk to you? His voice breaks the pleasant silence from before. I don't really feel like speaking, so I just nod along. His tail shifts around next to him, whipping me in the legs. I turn my head slightly so that he's in my sight. He looks somewhat annoyed by my lack of words. What a pain. She asked me to show her around school. I said that she should probably ask you instead. She wasn't amused. Shoichi holds back a laugh. She also asked me if she looked cute in her new uniform. I told her it was so-so. She was not happy about that. This time he's unable to hold back and laughs softly, his shoulders moving up and down at a pleasant rhythm. She tried to hit me with her bag. Lucky for me, I'm a fast runner. Shoichi doubles over, clutching his stomach as he continues on his fit of laughter. It's not funny. Your sister is the devil. Sorry. I know I shouldn't laugh. He takes a few breaths, trying to stabilize himself. Little by little, his shoulders stop quivering. Okay. I think I'm okay now. Really? Because you still look like you're about to burst into fits of laughter any minute now. Sorry she was such a pain. She actually spent most of the summer sending me photos of her in different clothes, asking me what would look good for her first day of class. At first I thought she was joking, but when the semester was close to starting and she hadn't stopped, I sent her a message reminding her of the uniform. And? She got mad at me because I didn't tell her sooner. Really? A high school student has to be reminded of the existence of the school uniform. Talk about a blunder. Oh, and it looks like she still has a major crush on you. Ugh, don't remind me. When we were kids, Hitoka had a serious older brother complex. Always following us around and saying that she wanted to marry her big bro when she grew up. In fact, I remember teasing Shoichi about it all the time. Why did she have to fall for me? If I let him know how much it annoys me, he'll tease me mercilessly for the rest of the day. Time for a tactical retreat. Change of subject. Is your dad still out of town? That was the first thing that came to mind. Oh god, I suck at this. His eyes say, really? That's the best you can do? But he still lets it slide. Yeah, a business trip to Taiwan. He'll stay there for most of the semester. Why don't you stay with your mom in the meantime? I'm sure she'd be thrilled about it. Hitoka, too. At that moment, the look on his face is enough to tell me that I said something I shouldn't have. That's an idea, but I don't really feel comfortable there. I feel like an outsider. Their house has stopped being my home a long time ago. Plus, someone has to watch over our house, so it's better if I stay there. It's not all bad, though. At least I can enjoy not having someone breathing down my neck about the chores that need to be done. And yet, I'm sure you will do them all regardless. Come to think of it, I don't really remember much of his current house. I didn't really visit much since his parents got divorced. Maybe I should go there sometime to keep him company. I know he still has a hard time dealing with the divorce, even if he likes to pretend that everything is fine. Maybe I could come over. I'll even bring one of my gaming consoles. Oh, that actually sounds like a great idea. Bring the Mega Neptune then. It has the best fighting games. Fighting games? Again? Are those the only ones you can play? No, but they're the only ones I can actually beat you in. How can he say something so sad with such a smile on his face? Fair enough. I'll see if I can get some free time this week. I can go over and spend the night. And we could pull a gaming all-nighter. Deal. Well, except the part about the all-nighter. I don't think it'd be a good idea to lose sleep. Boo, such a goody two-shoes. It feels so natural to see him smiling all the time. It's weird to think that he isn't always like this. Whenever he's dealing with the few people that aren't part of his group of friends, he always has such a serious look on his face. Honestly, it feels like two completely different people. He starts leaning back to lie on the floor as well, but just as his back is about to touch the floor, he shoots up. Shoot, I almost forgot. Saya-chan asked me to bring you over after she's done instructing the new club members. Yeah, I was hoping she wouldn't have gone that far. Nah, she's mistaken. I've taken a day off since there isn't anything important we need to do today. Is that so? Shouldn't the vice captain be there to be introduced to the new members? Shoichi shoots me such a suspicious look that I'm afraid he won't buy it. I guess I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. Luckily, he merely shrugs it off. I just managed to make up a convincing lie on the spot. Good going, me. The tennis club has things so easy. We had to jump through all sorts of hoops to get permission to use the courts during the break. Meanwhile, you guys had free access to them every day. It's so unfair. If you want better treatment, maybe you guys should start winning more. I had planned on getting up and bolting long before I finished my sentence, but I seem to have overlooked one fatal flaw in my plan. My body is still feeling sluggish from sleep, taking too long to move. In that time, Shoichi... Unable to get up on time, I'm grabbed in a chokehold by Shoichi, who immediately starts grinding his fist at my head. Oh, is it my imagination? I could have sworn I heard a little brat trash-talking my precious volleyball club. It couldn't have been you, right? Well, this might seem like a bad situation for an average person. I'm already so used to this kind of treatment that it doesn't even faze me. In fact, even if Shoichi is a little annoyed at my comment, this is nothing more than rough play for him. If he really wanted to hurt me, I'd have no chance. That guy is freakishly strong. While he definitely has his arm wrapped around my neck, the noose is loose enough that I can get out whenever I want. Still, I decide to humor him and play the part. Ah, Shoichi-san, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, let me go. Good. Also, yes, the honorific sounds so weird in my West Coast Cali voice, but, you know, whatever. Shoichi's body rumbles as he makes a choking noise. Unable to hold it in, Shoichi begins to laugh with me still in his grip. Feeling his body vibrating like that is a strange, albeit familiar sensation. But even though he can barely restrain his laughter, he continues to play his part. If you think forgiveness is gonna come that easily, then you're sorely mistaken. It would take you at least 100 years to achieve penance. Wait, Shoichi, you're tickling me. What's with that number? Be more realistic. Playing around like this is so nostalgic. It makes me miss the days of our childhood together. Well, not that those days ever really left. After all, we are rolling around on the rooftop in plain daylight. Shoichi gently pushes me away from him, giving me a tap on the shoulder. Away with you now, heathen. I am done with your punishment. Heathen? When did this become an inquisition? I don't know. I just always wanted to say a line like that. He's acting so silly right now that I can't help but laugh. Whenever we get together, we end up fooling around like little kids. It's why we stopped studying together. We could never get things done. This is our last year, you know. You should try enjoying high school life a little more. Whoa. The change of subject came so fast that I can feel some whiplash. I am enjoying it. And also, what's with the sudden change of subject? No, you're not. You barely speak to anyone in school other than Saya, Rushihara, and me. And that came from me being worried about you. You should be happy. All right, Mom. And for your information, I have plenty of friends. Casual acquaintances aren't the same thing as friends. And I know that all of your classmates fall into that category. That's not true. You're just overstating the requirements to friendship. Is that so? I shrug. Nothing I can say to change his mind, so I won't really bother to. By the way, what time is it now? I can't hear the students downstairs anymore. Huh, that's true. It's gotten pretty quiet. I can't either. Wait, why are you asking me that? Just check your phone. I left it in my bag. Pfft, so unprepared. I pull my phone out of my pocket and look at the time. Whoa, it's already past 11 a.m. 11:35? Shoichi almost shoots up. Shit, I'm late. I'm supposed to be helping with the new team members. Sorry I held you up for so long. Shoichi gets up quickly, dusting his clothes off. Is there any dirt on my back? No, it's fine. They clean the rooftop every day, you know. Doesn't change the fact that we were lying on the floor. If this was going to be such a problem, then why did you do it in the first place? It didn't feel like a problem at the time. I'll chalk it up to a lack of foresight. Now, come on. I'm sure you have better things to do than fall asleep on a school rooftop, even if you end up skipping practice. Here, let me help you. Shoichi leans down towards me, offering a hand. Seeing the blue sky shining brightly behind him and the gentle breeze ruffling his fur, for some reason, I can feel myself blushing. Without really knowing why, I decide to look away and attempt to hide, like a kid that got caught doing something bad. I don't need help. I'm not a baby. I'm not saying you are, but what's wrong with me trying to do something nice for a friend? I just want to help you. Damn smooth talker. Despite my protests, I still grab hold of his hand, being pulled up to my feet as if I weighed nothing. Actually, Shoichi overdoes it entirely, yanking me off the ground like some kind of rag doll and sending me crashing into him. My face lands square on his shoulder. It never ceases to amaze me how deceptively strong he is. I mean, he already looks strong, but he's still much stronger than he looks. If that makes any sense. Ah, geez, you're way too strong. Try to rein it in a little. You're gonna end up throwing me off this building. Sorry. You have so much fluff that you look much stockier than you really are. What's that supposed to mean? It's a compliment. I'm saying you're lighter than you look. Just as I'm pulling away from him, a particularly strong gust of wind blows against us, rustling my fur violently. Ah, it's so windy up here. How do you manage to stay here for so long? It's not usually this windy up here, you know? Plus, you're making for a pretty good windshield right now with how big you are. Although, I decide against mentioning that part. My pocket starts vibrating with force. I already have an idea who might be calling, so I choose to ignore it. Shoichi, though, has completely stopped. His eyes are glued to my pants pocket. Aren't you gonna get that? Nope. It's in bad taste to ignore a call, you know. Spare me the lecture. I have a pretty good idea of who it is, and this will be a conversation I'd rather avoid. Shoichi gives me a bemused, and in one fast movement shoves a hand down my pocket, pickpocketing my phone. Hey, give that back! Hello, could this be Yuichi's second girlfriend? Saya-chan. Uh-oh. Here's the development I didn't want to see occurring. The changes to his expression are already enough to tell me that I'm busted. And screwed. I attempt to stealthily walk away from the situation. You have a match. You told me you were taking the day off. Crap. I am. Without consent. Shoichi starts rubbing his forehead. Yeah, Saya-chan, sure, I'll bring him. No. Shoichi hangs up the phone and looks at me with a grumpy expression. I don't appreciate being lied to. I don't have to narrate every waking moment to you, do I? Well, no. But you have to go to practice. Why? It's your responsibility? Again, why? Because you're the vice captain, for crying out loud. And this is not up for debate. Shoichi grabs me by my shirt collar and starts dragging me. Whoa, I'll go. You don't have to drag me. Shoichi! Saya-chan, we're here. Saya stomps her way over to us, nearly knocking down some students that were unlucky enough to be in her path. If this were some kind of manga, I'm 100% sure she'd have smoke coming out of her ears. You! Asshole! Yeah. I'm grabbed by the collar of my shirt and dragged to the courts. What's with people always grabbing me by my shirt? I have arms. Grab those. They don't cost money and there's no risk of ripping them. There's no way you're running away again. Wait, this is Saya-chan. I promise I'm not going to try to escape. Please stop pulling on my shirt. Saya Mizoguchi, one of my dear childhood friends, is the current captain of our school's tennis club. Unfortunately for me, she's incredibly brash and hot-headed, even though she looks so innocent and tries to act cute. She's a monster whenever she gets angry. And considering how easy she is to anger, one could say that she lives in a state of constant rage. Standing at 176 centimeters, she's also one of the tallest girls in school, which I find slightly unsettling. Mizoguchi-senpai, I'd like to remind you that our new members are watching this little display here. Saya turns around to look at the source of that voice, her nostrils flared and her brows furrowed. Not to mention that huge vein that's pulsing on her forehead. The one addressing her is Keisuke Urushihara, one of our juniors. Despite his age, he's by far the most responsible member of the team and is constantly counseling Saya and I. Sometimes it feels like he's the one pulling the strings instead of us seniors. Not 30 seconds after popping up to speak his mind, Kei-kun has already left to busy himself with something else. Somehow it seems that his interference, however brief, was enough to bring her back to her senses. Saya clears her throat and straightens her clothes, turning around to look at Shoichi. She still maintains a death grip on my shirt collar, though. Right. Anyway, thanks for the help, Sho-chan. Don't mention it. Call me anytime this unruly child gives you any more problems. He seems to be enjoying himself far more than he should. Bastard. I'll get him back for this. Gym number 3, the one that houses the tennis courts, is actually separated in half by a giant locker room. On one side, we have the tennis courts. On the other, we have the volleyball courts. So in the end, it was incredibly convenient for him, as he was already bound to come this way anyway. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some captaincy duties to fulfill. He waves us goodbye, heading towards the locker rooms, supposedly for his own practice. Meanwhile, I can feel Saya leering at my back. A creeping sense of dread begins to settle. Well, Saya-chan, I guess I'll just... freeze? Her voice is so filled of authority that I'm cut down before I even have a chance to speak. Before long, I completely toss away the foolish notion that I ever had a chance to escape. Why are you being so troublesome? You know about our club's tradition. We had to delay practice because of you. I look away from her, trying to ignore the slight pang of guilt I feel in my chest. She's, of course, talking about our club's special yearly match featuring a junior and a senior player elected by members of those years to represent them in a special one-set match. No one really knows why they initially made it, but nowadays it's accepted as a way to show off our best players to those that are just joining the club. This is why this match takes place at the first day of class. Do I really have to? I already took part in it last year. Isn't there some kind of attendance limit to allow more people to participate? Even as I'm trying to find a way out of it, I already know the best I can do is buy some time. It's true though that I was chosen to represent the juniors last year, defeating the seniors representative by 6-3. The first time in over 10 years that the juniors had won. I was pretty happy about it last year too. Look, normally I'd give you a pass, but all of the seniors voted for you this year. It'd be unfair to them if I picked someone else. Usually we host one match per gender category, so we'd have the girls and the boys playing in separate categories. But still, the guys are still allowed to vote on who they want to see representing the girls and vice versa. It's a pretty neat system. Come on, it can't have been literally everyone. I know for a fact that I didn't vote for myself. Don't try to be cute. You didn't even vote at all. You were absent that day. Rats. And yes, you got every single one of the votes. 100%. Is it even that big of a surprise? You're one of the most well-known players in Japan. Of course our guys would want to watch you play. Doesn't help that you've been slacking off on practice for the past year. I attempt to act frustrated by sighing as loudly as I can. The hope was that she'd see it and decide to take pity on me. It isn't very effective. Should I take that sigh as a sign that you've resigned yourself to your fate? Yes? Great, then it's showtime. Saya grabs me by my wrist and starts dragging me to one of the courts. Just as I'm about to truly surrender to my inescapable fate. I feel a hand touching my shoulder. As I turn around, I'm greeted to the sight of Kei-kun's face. Hey, how about we take a little breather here, okay? Mizuguchi-senpai. Michimiya-senpai hasn't even changed out of his uniform yet. How is he supposed to play like this? Can't we at least give him some time to get changed? Keisuke, you're the best. Saya stares at him. The bulging vein on her forehead makes another appearance as her brows twitch with frustration. Just when it seems that she might not budge. Fine. But be quick about it. I don't want to have to delay this any longer than I have to. Thank you. I'll be right back. I flash Keikun a thumbs up as thank you. Now I just have to plot my... And don't even think of trying to run away. Otherwise, I'll hunt you down and I'll make a fur coat out of your skin. On second thought, I dash towards the male locker room, trying to get this done as fast as I can. Every second I take makes Saya even more mad, and I can't risk that. Just then, I see Shoichi standing right next to his locker, his eyes just as glued on me as mine are on him. For a second, what is happening doesn't really click for any of us. After all, it's not every day that someone runs into a locker room and nearly crashes into the lockers. Shoichi's hands are still frozen on the waistband of his underwear? Whatever it is that he's wearing. His hands are still clutching it as if he had just pulled it up a mere fraction of a second before I walked in. And the entire backside of it is completely bare. Yeah, especially with him standing frozen like that, giving me a perfect view of his... Sorry! I turn around as fast as possible, trying to erase the image of my half-naked childhood friend from my mind. Being so self-conscious around half-naked people, I'm a failure as a Japanese person. Is this really necessary? I'm not packing anything you haven't seen tons of times before. Shut up! Ugh. I'm not usually this much of a nervous wreck around naked people, but having no time to prepare myself mentally has made me completely shocked to this sudden exposure. And it had to be Shoichi of all people? I can hear him softly chuckling from behind me, probably having a lot of fun at my breakdown. I mean, seeing someone in their underwear inside of a locker room is no big deal. And it's true that I've seen him wearing less before, no comment on that one. But, I was a kid back then. I didn't really understand how embarrassing nudity is. In the end, I can't decide if I should just make conversation, move towards my locker, or start undressing myself. I just stand frozen with my back turned away from him. Your eyes aren't gonna fall off if you look at me, you know. Have you gotten dressed yet? Nope. And I'm not going to until you turn around and look at me. What? Why would you do that? Because you're freaking out and it's hilarious. Gonna kill him. There, I'm looking. I can see more of you than I'd like to. Oh, God, did you have to be wearing a jockstrap? I can see your ass. Oh, this? It looks pretty snazzy, doesn't it? It looks like something you'd buy at a sex shop. Since when have you worn this kind of skimpy underwear? I'll have you know that I bought this at an athletic gear store. And it's actually pretty damn comfortable. It's great to practice in. One of my teammates recommended it to me a few weeks back, and I gave it a try. Don't I look great in it? Whatever you want to believe. You know, for someone that's complaining so much about me being half naked, you sure seem to be interested in my crotch. Your eyes haven't left that area since you turned around. Shut up! I'm looking at the only area of your body that is still clothed. Sure you are. Keep telling yourself that. Shoichi turns back to his locker room, picking up a change of clothes. There, I'm dressed. You can stop freaking out now. Thank you. God, my cheeks are so hot right now. Good thing your house has a bath. I think you'd have a meltdown if you had to shower at school. I don't doubt that. I place my tennis bag on a bench and pull out my practice clothes. For a second, I move to undress myself. I see Shoichi with the corner of my eye and freeze. He looks at me in confusion for a few seconds. Then realization dawns on him and he sighs. You want me to turn my back, don't you? I just nod. Shoichi sighs again and turns away from me. How do you even deal with this when you're staying in a hotel for a tournament? I don't use the hotel's bath. I look for a bathhouse with private rooms. That's kinda sad. Beats getting naked in front of a bunch of strangers. Alright, you can turn around now. Shoichi turns over again as I'm adjusting my shirt. Good thing Kei-kun swooped in to help me. If I had left it up to Saya, she'd have forced me to play in plain school clothes. His expression turned sour when I mentioned Keisuke. Hooray for that. Still mad over last time? That was my ball and he knew it. For some reason that completely eludes me. These two are always finding some stupid reason to fight over. I swear, it's like placing a burning candle next to gasoline. The slightest thing makes it catch fire. And for the last time, let it go. It's been almost 2 weeks already. Shoichi pouts. God, he's too childish when it comes to Kei-kun. I'll let it go when he apologizes. We both know that's never gonna happen. Just drop it. Why do I have to be the one to accept defeat? Because when neither of you is winning, you're both just making me miserable. Fine, fine. I'll talk to him. You don't have to be rude. Well, anyway, I have to get to practice. Talk to you later? Sure, see ya. I check my bag to make sure I have everything in order. Once I'm sure that nothing is missing, I grab my racket and head outside. As I start looking for Saya, I catch Kei-kun stretching alone at a court. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Pain suddenly shoots from my shin, making me jump forward, yelping. Son of a... I reflexively reach down to my foot, rubbing down the spot that just got brutally assaulted from this monster woman. Saya merely leers down at me with an annoyed look on her face. What took you so long? Did you get lost inside the locker room? Sheesh. I ran into Shoichi while I was changing. Also, ow! At least she's no longer breathing fire from her mouth. She seems to have mostly calmed down. She's only just annoyed. By the way, I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before, but Kei is the one you'll be playing against. You were kind of a flight risk at the time. Just like you, he got all the votes in his year. This is the first time our club has ever gotten 2 players with 100% of the votes. I'm really excited for this. She looks like she might start hopping in place from excess glee. Yeah, I've only played against him once, and that was a while ago. But I still can't see myself losing to him. Sorry if that sounds cocky. To be honest, I also think you'll win. But then again, this is tennis. Never put it past your opponent to win by an upset. You should be happy. This will be a great chance for you to practice. You'll probably play against him during the prefecturals anyway. Yeah, great. Practice I didn't even want to get. Such an amazing opportunity indeed. I grumble unhappily in place, still thinking of the throbbing pain in my shin. God damn it. Even if she was just playing around, she kicked way too hard. She shakes her head sideways, making an exaggerated shrug. I find your lack of enthusiasm disturbing. Really? You're quoting Galaxy Wars in regular conversation now? I know she's a film nerd, but there's a limit to everything. Hey, if it fits the situation, why shouldn't I? With a big smile on her face, Saya shrugs one last time before walking away towards the umpire chair, leaving me to watch in dismay as Keikun finishes his preparations. Wait, the umpire chair? She's the one that'll be overseeing the match today? Oh, this is just great. Is our coach absent today again? I swear that man takes every opportunity he has to slack off. And on the first day of class. Really? Deciding to think nothing more of it, I proceed to do the most basic warm-up, making sure to finish it in less than 5 minutes. It's not my usual warm-up routine, but then again, I don't even care about this match in the first place. I wish I was home. As I make my way to the court, I can hear some of my club mates whispering here and there, most of them sounding really excited for some reason. I guess Saya wasn't kidding when she said that people had been looking forward to this match. Damn it. Why do I have such a stupid grin on my face? I'm letting the excited mood permeating the gym affect me. I see that Keikun is waiting for me, having already finished his warm-up routine. Even though he was running around and doing stretches up until now, his clothes still look to be in pristine condition. As he sees me coming over, he flashes a smile. How are you feeling right now? Seem a little out of it earlier. Did Mizuguchi-senpai give you too much trouble? Even though he was referring to us by our last names while other club members were around. Now that we're out of earshot of other people, he's back to calling us by our first names. Which is great, because I hate the excessive deference people treat me with just because I happen to be a bit older. Age is just a number after all. Sorry, I was still half asleep earlier today. Saya gave me one hell of a kick to the shin though, so that's jolted me awake. Oops. He seems almost amused by hearing it. He's been exposed to Saya for too long. He's not even batting an eye to random acts of violence. This one has already been corrupted by us. As long as you're not limping, it should be fine. I'd be wary of angering her again, though. I'll say. It feels like I've had a few years knocked off my life expectancy. Saya is one scary girl when she's angry. He laughs at my remark. His normally deep voice. I gave him a higher whatever. His normally deep voice carrying softly through the air. He's pretty subdued most of the time, but I guess there's a certain air of refinement to him. I can't give them all deep voices. Like, almost as if he wasn't just some average high school student. Well, since we'll be playing one another only one set, stamina won't be much of a problem. How about we go at each other guns blazing from the start? It sounds good to me. How do we decide who gets the first serve? Should we just flip a coin? If it's okay with you, I'd like for you to take the first serve. I know it's usually your preference, and I'd like to give it a try. Sure, I guess. I mean, if you're really okay with it. I am. I think it'll be a great opportunity for me to try out a new strategy I've come up with. Now, if you don't mind, I'll stay with this side of the court. Shall we get started? I nod, wishing him good luck and heading over to my side of the court. What's up with him willingly giving me the first serve? He's totally underestimating me, isn't he? I walk over to my starting position and one of the freshmen hands me 2 balls. I guess Saya's roped them into being our ball boys for their match, huh? I take a few deep breaths to steady myself. Once I walk onto the court, I shouldn't focus on anything but my opponent. It doesn't matter if it's a tournament match or an exhibition match. It's all still tennis in the end. And I refuse to give anything less than my all when it comes to tennis. I throw the ball into the air, moving my body as quickly as I can with a whip-like motion to hit the ball at the peak of the toss. It goes past the net and hits close to the line. A powerful flat serve that goes wide. The ball bounces quickly and swiftly, sliding past Kei-kun's reach. Or at least it should have. With a swift motion, he dashes to the ball and returns it, though not perfectly. The ball doesn't go very deep and doesn't have much power behind it. If it's like this, I can handle it easily. I reach the ball and counter it, putting as much force as I possibly can without sending it flying out of the court. The ball goes to the opposite side of the court as Kei-kun is standing in right now, hitting the ground and bouncing away before he even starts running again. 15-0. Or I guess love, whatever. Kei-kun looks down at the skid mark left on the floor by the ball, whistling in admiration. Seeing his surprise definitely makes me smile a little. The freshmen all start talking loudly and excitedly after seeing the last rally. Shut up! Saya easily solves that problem by using her usual sunny disposition. The only problem is she almost gave me a heart attack. Looking over at Kei-kun, I notice him standing completely frozen, eyes wide as he stares at Saya. She quickly notices his gaze and laughs nervously. Please continue. Well, at least you regains your composure fast. We both walk back to our positions, Kei-kun taking just a bit longer to compose himself again. After knowing us for a full year, I'm surprised he's not used to Saya's personality yet. I take a moment to bask in the atmosphere. Even if I hesitated to be here right now, I have to admit that being on the court is the best feeling ever. Once more, I shoot a flat shot aiming for the lines. Kei-kun dashes to the ball and, although he reaches it, returns the ball into the net. 30 love! Kei-kun stares at me with a troubled look on his face. I guess he just isn't used to a truly fast serve. There aren't many players with a lot of raw power around for him to practice against, so it's no surprise he's still not used to playing against me. Guess that's one benefit to me not playing against him often. I repeat the same strategy once more. A flat ball with lots of power is what I excel at. Although he gets to the ball with relative ease, he misjudges the timing. His return ends up going too long and flies out of the court by quite a bit. Out! 40 love! I can't keep myself from grinning like an idiot. I just might be a little bit of a sadist because crushing an opponent always feels so satisfying. I never get sick of it. Kei-kun probably thought he could come up with some strategy to break my serve and asked me to serve first so he could attack and mess with my head. He probably thought that by breaking my serve, he'd also break my concentration. Instead, it seems the spell has been turned against its user. Game Michimiya. Game count 3-0. Michimiya leads. The small crowd that gathered around our court starts to cheer loudly once more. I just wish these guys would shut up. This is way too distracting. As for Kei-kun, he's seemed largely out of it since the end of the first game. I guess the shock of seeing his strategy failing so catastrophically has broken his concentration. He's completely abandoned his tactics and fine skills in favor of a brute force approach. Tennis is a sport where your mind is just as important as your body. If you start thinking too much about losing, your fear will cause your body to panic. Your body won't move as it normally does, and without noticing, your play becomes affected. Because of that, I managed to easily break through his serve game. And that created a downward spiral. The more he's dominated, the more he fears an eventual defeat. causing his play to worsen further and making him feel even more dominated. It's a feedback loop that you can't escape from unless you notice that you're in it in the first place. And even then, it's no small feat. Professional players struggle with this type of thing. For a high school student, this is a monumental beast all on its own. Huh. I'm usually all in favor of rest breaks, but right now I wish we could play the whole match without stopping. Not because I'd like to, but because I don't want Keisuke to have time to calm down. It might be a shitty thing to say, but I hope he stays in this slump all the way to the end of the match. Time! Well, no point dwelling on it. I'll just get back to the court and try to get this match done as fast as I can. Huh. This is exactly what I was hoping wouldn't happen. His eyes seem much more focused right now. I guess this small break gave him enough time to get himself back together. I really can't afford to let my guard down. Keisuke tosses the ball high into the air, making contact with it just as it begins to drop again. There's no doubt about it that his serve has gone back to normal. I guess there's no more weakness for me to exploit. The good things in life are always short-lived, after all. The ball soars over the net, making contact with the ground deep onto the court. I managed to reach the ball and send it back, but I lost my balance for a second and got a late start on my subsequent dash. Just as I take a couple of steps towards the center of the court, Kei-kun immediately sends a powerful shot to the side I had been on. Not having had enough time to regain my balance, attempting to change direction again makes me trip. The ball slides through the floor, bouncing again on a sideways arch. I somehow manage to reach a shot, but because it stays too close to the ground, I can't make a full swing and end up lacking power. This is likely what he was going for. It seems Kei-kun has decided to attack my counter, which is admittedly a rather annoying strategy. Right after I return the ball to the other side of the court, he again shoots it to the other side of the court to make me run. If this were a 3 or even a full set match, I would be seriously worried about my stamina. In a flash, Kei-kun has identified the shots I most struggle against and the ones I most want to hit. By doing that, he's aggressively looking to keep his serve by chipping away at me until he can go for a winner. This style of tennis that emphasizes a wide variation of shots and a delicate touch is his specialty. It's thanks to this that Kei-kun managed to overcome his average constitution, becoming a well-known player in our region. Still, he's yet to make a breakthrough when it comes to the national competitions. Since I can't fall into a comfortable pace, I end up not being able to hit the ball as I want to, and as such, can't put away a winner. I continue to struggle again with the rally until Keisuke eventually runs me out of the point. Keisuke continues to use the same strategy for the remainder of the game. I'm only able to score a single point before he wins. We promptly start the 5th game. This time, I have to try and hit my best possible serve to keep myself on the lead during my service game. While I fully expect myself to have the advantage on my serve, I still don't want to be caught up on a long rally against him. I don't have that much stamina. I go for a strong, flat serve to the center of the court. Although it's a high risk, the ball makes it right on the edge of the court, painting the line. Despite that, Kei-kun reaches it, returning a deep ball with tons of topspin. Using the advantage given to me by my serve game, I quickly return a strong, flat shot to the other side of the court. The speed of the shot doesn't give him time to ready his next swing. If he doesn't have much time to prepare, he can't send a very precise shot. He ends up lightly tapping it on my side of the court. I rush over to it and strike with everything I have, putting away an easy winner. 15 love! Keikun looks somewhat angry. I see him muttering something to himself before he gets back to position. This is the main reason I avoided playing against him for so long. Keikun falls in the category of tactical players. He is constantly running simulations and thinking up different strategies to deal with any problems he might face. Ordinarily, when faced with a huge hurdle, a player like myself would attempt to find an answer through trial and error. A player like Keisuke, though, is constantly analyzing the shifts and pattern. Because of that, he can shift into an answer almost instantly. I'm forced to keep changing up shots far too often in an attempt to throw him off. In the end, I'm not truly forcing my way through. I'm just taking a detour that forces me to spend extra energy. I just hate having to deal with any wall that my power can't break through. Because I'm forced to constantly think and look for alternatives. The strain of having to sustain such a degree of concentration while keeping up my usual high-paced game makes me feel tired faster than usual. Still, I can't just shoot blindly, otherwise he'll eventually find a way to shut me out. I decide to change up my serves a little bit, by adding a few spin shots to my serves, which are usually all flat anyway. I can throw them off for a while. I try putting as much power as I can into this spin serve, though the ball is significantly slower than before. Crap. I'm not too good at using spin. Because of the way a player grips his racket and the hand he uses to hold it, the ball tends to naturally spin to one direction. That's one of the reasons left-handed players are favored in the game, since there aren't many of them and players tend to have already ingrained their reactions to different shots. Any difference, no matter how small, can throw them off. Most players capitalize on this natural spin, hitting spin shots that make the ball slide in that direction. Since hitting a spin towards the opposite direction makes it so the ball doesn't slide so much to the side, it tends to not be as favored. But because it isn't as favored, it becomes unexpected, and I use this to catch Keikun by surprise. He reads my serve and rushes into a position to return. But because the ball doesn't escape as far to the side as he expects it, he ends up hitting the ball too close to the grip of the racket. His return is shallow, leaving me an opportunity to attack. 30 love! Shh. Keikun looks just about ready to throw his racket on the floor. He's gripping it so tight his hands are shaking. I'm not exactly happy to see him like this, but I decide to bury those feelings for now. He's my friend, but when we're on the court, I can't show sympathy. This time I go with a wide slice. Once again, since I'm serving the ball to a direction opposite of its spin, instead of sliding away from the court, it angles itself back in. The awkward angle of the shot causes Keikun to hit another weak return, which I easily put away. 40 love! The freshmen all chat excitedly while they watch the match. There are so many voices at the same time that I can barely make out what they're saying. Well, not that I'm trying to anyway. Keikun seems like he can't even notice them, not reacting at all to their voices. That guy's concentration is on a whole other level, and that's already scary enough by itself. I ready myself for another serve. I take advantage of the indecision my past two serves created and hit a strong top spin shot wide. Keikun is caught by surprise. Having tried to anticipate my serve, he ran towards the center but had to double back immediately. Because he can't reach the ball, I score a service ace to take the game. The freshmen erupt in cheers before being reprimanded by the other club members. Game Michimiya! Game count 4-1. Michimiya leads. We take another break. I slide into my seat and to rest for a bit, uncapping my bottle of water and taking a quick sip. When I glance over at Keikun on the side, he has a really intense look on his face. He might look like the meek, silent type, but he really gets fired up when it comes to tennis, huh? He mutters something to himself that I can't really make out, sweat rolling down his face and dripping from his matted fur. He's wiping his face using the hem of his shirt. Why isn't he going for a towel inside his bag? I really don't understand. Because then we wouldn't get a CG. Duh. One thing I will say is that for someone who looks so lithe and somewhat fragile, Keikun is surprisingly well built underneath his clothes. You can quickly tell just how much effort he put into nurturing and caring for his body. Even for someone who doesn't seem to be naturally very athletic, he managed to build himself to a point where he doesn't even have even a little bit of excess muscle anywhere. It's something to marvel at, really. Even I probably am a little bit thicker on the muscle mass than I should be. It's been an hour. I think that's a good place. We'll finish this match in the next one. I forgot how long it was. I was like, I can make it through. But oh well, that's fine. Anyway, we'll see if I can keep this up. I was already with Soul Creek. I was like, oh man, I might not do long ones that I've read before again, but we'll see. It'll be different from what I've read. Yeah. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.